Welcome back to Sports Talk ATL. I am Chase Earl, joined by Jake Gordon and Alex Lord. The Falcons made their second trade ahead of the trade deadline, acquiring some defensive line depth and Kentavius Street from the Philadelphia Eagles. Now, he wasn't getting a lot of run. I think he only played like 87 defensive snaps for the Eagles, didn't have a sack. And people were like, oh, like, of course, another guy with no sacks. But this is a guy who had 3.5 sacks. He's not necessarily a sack artist, but it's good defensive line depth. No, he's not going to replace Grady Jarrett. But the Falcons, when that injury happened, they had to at least, we talked about it yesterday, they have to at least go get a depth piece. Wouldn't be surprised if they go get another one. Wouldn't be surprised if they get a pass rusher like Montez Sweat and kick Calais Campbell inside. I don't think the Falcons are done, but, you know, this is a good move that they had to do, and it bolsters the depth.
Yeah, I think I saw something where the Montez Sweat might be headed to the Bears. I don't know if that's true. It's just what people are saying right now. I was just looking in between segments. But, yeah, I still think they could go get somebody like that. I don't think it's out of the question. I think a third-round pick that turns into a second-round pick if Sweat signs an extension is more than a fair offer, which is what apparently they have offered. So I guess we'll see. I don't know. I'm not 100% sure right now. But either way, I'm good with that.
Yeah, Kentavius Street is definitely not a guy that's going to, make a lot of Falcons fans happy, especially considering they've had Montez Sweat dangled in front of their face. But Street is still a more than capable player. He had 3.5 sacks last year under Ryan Nielsen in New Orleans. He got a start in San Francisco, didn't do much until his final season there, had 3 sacks in his final year in 2021. 2022 comes over, joins the Saints under Ryan Nielsen, current Falcons defensive coordinator, has 3.5 sacks. His best year as a pro. He's obviously not getting a lot of burn in Philadelphia behind that just nasty defensive line filled with Jake's Georgia Bulldogs. So I don't think that you can necessarily knock the fact that his lack of production, he's just not getting any burn. He's got, the best defensive line in front of him. Why would they play him? So this works well for the Falcons and what they need. I was actually talking about this even before the Grady Jarrett injury, just because I thought, this guy could bring something in terms of a rotation that the Falcons don't really have. So even if, Grady Jarrett didn't get injured, this is a guy I would love to have here. Maybe in the long term, he's not old. He's on the right side of 30. He has experience with has familiarity with Ryan Nielsen. He's productive from the interior. Obviously, we don't need him as a starter by any means with David Onyemata. Hope Grady Jarrett's back from the ACL surgery and rehab week 1 next year. I imagine he will be. The guy's a Gruden grinder. Having somebody like Kentavius Street behind those two guys is really enticing for me.
Yeah, I didn't understand the Falcons fans were upset by this. I mean, we need more D-line depth, and
it also cost virtually nothing.
Yeah,
virtually nothing.
It's just funny that people are like, "Oh, we're not going to get Montez." So like, this has nothing. This has nothing to do with it. Those two things they're not any.
They swapped 6th and 7th round picks.
Yeah, I mean, it's like we get a little D-line depth. It's something that we desperately needed, especially after the injury. So I mean, I think it's a good move, and I still think the Falcons can make whatever moves that they were going to make anyways. It doesn't affect anything. Now, if they don't make a move, that's probably because the value wasn't there, or maybe someone ups the offer for Montez Sweat or whatever. Whatever happens. But this does not have anything to do with that, and the Falcons desperately needed something like this, and maybe he does come in and have a little bit of a better impact, but. I didn't understand why people are upset. It's like, oh no! And even if they don't make a move,
you're not guaranteed to get spread. You're not guaranteed to get spread.
Even if they don't make a move after this, like it didn't have anything to do with us getting this guy.
No, they're people don't understand the definition of mutually exclusive. But back to Jake's point that about the 3rd round pick it's a conditional 2nd round pick. I think that is a more than fair offer. Ian Chase has talked about it a little bit. I know we're talking about Kentavius Street, but Montez Sweat is the hot topic here. And the fact of the matter is the Commanders can let him walk and get a compensatory pick, which is probably going to be a 3rd round pick. So you have to make it worth their while to get rid of him. So we give him a 3rd round pick. Montez Sweat signs an extension with us. That turns into a 2nd round pick. I mean, everybody's happy. Let's just also address the obvious. I see people talking about it. The Falcons don't need to be making a move, going all in. And I think that's very, very true. Very true. With this instability at quarterback, doesn't matter Taylor Heineke, who's our quarterback. We don't know who's the future. We don't know. There's absolutely no reason to be mortgaging your future to win right now. But the fact of the matter is you could just look at this as a free agency move. You're getting out ahead of the curve. You don't have to get in a bidding war for over Montez Sweat with another team that could want him more. And you're thinking, oh, well, we'll keep the second round pick. What have we done with a second round pick that makes you think that guy's going to turn into a player? We've done nothing with any of our picks outside of the first round. We have a couple of gems in Tyler Algier, but that's it. I'd much rather have Montez
second and
Sweat.
third round picks have been malpractice.
Nothing. Montez Sweat, you name one player the Falcons have drafted in the second round that's even close to the projection of Montez Sweat. You can't. So, what are we talking about holding on to our draft picks? Send them away. Give me a proven guy.
Yeah, I mean, and also you think about the things, and we mentioned this yesterday, just like how much better the Falcons have been at evaluating pro talent and what fits in these schemes than they have been in the draft. It's night and day. You talk about something they've been fantastic at and something they've been absolutely terrible at. So yeah, hopefully they do make a move. It would be awesome to sit here and talk about this tomorrow, but who knows? Coming up after the break, Oregon smashes Utah. Are they a playoff contender?